Red Dead Redemption is a critically acclaimed game and one of the best games of 2018. Red Dead is set at the turn of the century in 1899 deep into the heartlands of America. It follows Arthur Morgan and the Dutch Vanderleer gang as they are on the run from the Pinkerton agency who is hunting down the old gangs of the West. Throughout the game, Arthur and his gang struggle as they try to adapt to a world where the Wild West is increasingly becoming more tamed. It is a game unmatched in detail, scope, and execution. Although Arthur Morgan is a fictional character, the game is filled with historically accurate details from the types of guns, the western-style towns, to the dialogue and the way characters interact with one another. In the game, you walk by many characters and towns who are discussing historical events like the Civil War, the women's rights movement, and slavery. However, what makes Red Dead Redemption stand out from the other games within a historical setting is that the characters in the game, with both minor and major roles, discuss the smaller issues in their lives as well. It is very common to overhear characters discussing a horse of theirs that passed away, a game of poker they won, or the town drunk. Minor details like these work to help craft a realistic and believable historical setting and bring the players deeper within the magic circle. In a still partially lawless time period, the player is presented through player action with many moral quandaries, such as whether to stop along the road to help people in need or to stop crimes in progress, or whether to ignore these altogether. However, the developers of the game made sure to not overly glamorize the life of an outlaw. There are many instances where the game presents you with different missions and cutscenes that tug at the player's heartstrings and make you question the values and motives behind your character. An example of this can be seen in the missions you complete for the loan shark within your gang who insists on you being the muscle when collecting money. Many of these missions end with scared, desperate people giving up their last vulnerable possessions in order to pay off your gang. Outside of the main story missions, all of your actions affect your honor rating among the hundreds of characters throughout the game. Your actions and decisions make the game affect how the characters interact with you. Make morally sound decisions like giving money to the disabled homeless veteran on the street and your honor will increase, making the players of the town interact in a friendly, respectful manner. Make poor moral decisions like shooting a disabled homeless veteran on the street with a double-barrel shotgun and your honor will decrease, making the players of the town act fearful and disrespectful towards you. But it is the freedom and choice of what kind of outlaw you wish to be that makes Red Dead such an amazing game and one that draws you deep into its magic circle. It tests your own values in a way that the game is very realistic, making it so immoral decisions will often leave the player feeling the guilt of killing an innocent person. However, a criticism of the game is that it is important to highlight that a criticism of a game that is important to highlight is the disconnect that can be formed from the Arthur I have complete control of in the open world and the Arthur within the cutscenes and story missions. In story missions, Arthur advocates to make smart decisions on places to rob and wants robbers to be as quiet and low-key as possible. But this is not always consistent with the Arthur I have complete control of in the open world. In the open world, Arthur can shoot up an entire town, killing countless numbers of innocent people, so why is it that when I'm in a mission, I have to be subtle and smart about how I do things? Other aspects of the game bringing the player into the magic circle is the relationships you form within the game. Many players form bonds with their horse by riding them, feeding them, and keeping them well brushed. You must watch the non-diegetic indicators to the left of the screen to make sure your horse is well fed and has the energy to go out and do activities. As you perform these maintenance rituals, you're forced to build a connection between you and your horse. Other relationships include the relationship Arthur has with the rest of the gang. Each gang has its own unique personality and specialty that he provides to the gang. Some gang members specialize on crafting materials, others on cooking food or robbing the local saloon. These individual personality traits and skills give each member purpose and help fulfill a larger sense of community within the game. Arthur himself can contribute to the camp through fishing, hunting, collecting supplies, etc. These are all maintenance rituals that help Arthur form a bond with his gang. The camp itself becomes a sacred space within the game, a home where you load up on supplies, perform rituals like chores, and have conversations with the other gang members. This, along with the narrative, helps to create a sacred space that makes the players feel connected to characters and the world around you. As the game progresses, some of the gang members you feel most connected to get killed. Because of the community and the relationship the gang has, when a gang member dies, you as a player feel different affects and oftentimes have a strong emotional response of anger and sadness. Overall, Red Dead is one of the best open-world games of all time. Its attention to details, the freedom of choice, and moral decisions you make, and the community that is formed through the game stand out like no other game we've ever seen before it. recording?
Shut up.